Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
What's up, all you cuties and uggos? I'm Slidewhistle.
I'm Immunization.
And I'm Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag. And oh my dearest, oh my loves, you are smack dab at the front of a new episode of another pod, Do Not Relent.
You made it. Congrats. I hope the wait was worth it. It probably wasn't.
You found us on the Podbean app. The best way to listen to Do Not Relent.
Also, freshly discovered on Spotify.
Oh, poor Gemmet. Gemmet tweeted at us and said he loved us and that he was happy to find us on Spotify. And I was like, oh, Gemmet, we've been on Spotify for a while. You poor, poor boy. The Podbean app is not a good app.
He was too busy emu raising. When you're in the emu game, you don't have time for Spotify. You gotta do the bean.
I think about that big emu egg all the time and what a beautiful little bird that became.
It's a big emu now.
Yeah, that is his child, and we have been blessed to watch its childhood / is it an adult now? I don't know how it is considered adulthood for an emu.
I don't remember. Does he have it still, or did he have to give it away? I thought he had to give it away because it was too big to manage.
It's still in his bio, so I would imagine it's still on the farm somewhere.
Yeah, probably just check, but I'm gonna wait for Gemma to give us an update, which however long that takes him to get up this episode. And what's your emu update, Gemma? We want it now.
All this reminds me of Cubby Bub was telling me when she was young, because West Virginia is a state for whatever reason, like they're lax about certain exotic animals. So she was like, one time I was in school and we had a lockdown, but not because there was a shooter. It's because some guy's pet kangaroo got loose and it was like hopping through the neighborhood and it's like, we don't know what it's going to do. It could kick you.
So, are you legally allowed to have a kangaroo in the U.S.? Or is it just like a West Virginia thing?
It's certain states. I looked it up. Neither you boys nor I could own a kangaroo.
Fuck.
But if you want to head over to St. Albans, we can go get us one.
All my training in Todd the Tasmanian Tiger has taught me how to fight roos, so I'm ready to throw dual boomerangs at it.
I would use my kaboomerang, but my mom took him away. Now all I have is the aqua rang and the radar rang.
I'm so sad, honestly.
All I have is that one Skrillex song. What's it called?
Bangarang?
Bangarang? Yeah, that one. That's all I have.
You couldn't remember Bangarang? Shame on you. You don't really have that, do you?
I had it at one point.
I purchased it on my iTunes.
My iTunes. So, Blanchy can fly. Breaking news, everybody. Blanchy can fly.
Breaking news. If you didn't get her now. It'll probably be even easier than when we did.
Yeah, because they just announced that she cannot currently fly, but she will be able to fly starting in 9.1. So, starting in 9.1, we will be able to have flying in the Shadowlands, but then also, if you already have Blanchy, it's a pretty badass flying mount now.
It's going to be so weird, because whenever I'm in regular areas like Stormwind, I'm just like, oh, right, I can fucking fly here. I don't have to run around. So just being able to fly through Shadowlands is going to be so fucking bizarre.
So this leads me to, and I may or may not use the sound file. Maybe I will, because it's been a while. But a little quick mini DNR thought. But a lot of people have been like, why does everything need to fly? Do you guys feel like there are too many flying mounts as opposed to ground mounts?
No.
Okay, so I also saw people complaining about this, and I was like, I don't know. So first off, a few that I saw, they're like, why does everything have to fly? Why does this one get to fly? It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, first off, it's like a spirit ghost undead horse. It can fly. It's a ghost spirit. Why is that the weird thing to you?
Oh my god, yeah, I thought people were joking in the Wildhead comments, but I found an actual honest-to-God complaint. Hirachi said, it's a cool mount and all, but why does it need to fly? It detracts from the realism and immersion of the game. There are plenty of flying mounts with actual wings. Why does this horse need to fly? What's the lore behind it? In my honest opinion, this is another step on a slippery slope away from early WoW immersion / RPG to a game. This isn't real, right? It has to be a joke, right? Right?
I do not have that intel, but you know, because like, it's a fantasy game. Why is your argument the fact that like it goes against realism? Like, there's nothing real about this game. It's high fantasy.
They bend the rules every so often to be like, oh yeah, this is the new reality. And they're allowed to do that because it's a fantasy game. We can just be like, we're in a new realm. These things fly now. Okay. That said, literally the only one I have problems with is the wild Dreamweavers. When they fly, I don't get it. Because they're just unicorns? And like, I guess they're magical. Well, I feel like Blizzard then needs to go in a 2.5 patch. It doesn't even need to be a 0.5, and add like a little bit of like cloud or rainbows under them to be like, oh no, they're stepping on clouds or they're running on a rainbow.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
My unicorn takes off, and it's just like he's airborne now.
So I was gonna ask, like, I'm pretty sure unicorns can fly, but like, obviously we've all played Rainbow Unicorn Attack, right? I feel like it just needs like some animation behind it like that, and then it will all feel okay.
But Rainbow Unicorn Attack, unicorns don't fly, right? You're running on the ground because you have to jump over those stupid stars.
Yeah, but once you collect
feel like
enough, then it has like a burst, and then it does fly for a little bit.
Yeah, like even if it was, just like Rainbow. As dumb as it is, I'm like, oh, it needs a little bit of realism. If it had just like a magical force underneath its hooves, even just a particle effect to be like it's running on magic.
That's
I'd
fair.
be like, okay, problem solved. The fact that just it's standing and then you press the space bar and it's standing 8 feet above the ground now, I'm like, I don't know about that one.
So I hate to invoke its name because of the current controversy surrounding Belluar and this game, but I have a lot of friends that play Final Fantasy XIV, and my biggest difference between the WoW community and their community is mounts. Do you guys know what kind of mounts they have in Final Fantasy XIV?
I don't know what they are, but I know it's beautiful. People have told me it's the reason to play the game.
So they don't give a shit. They don't care what the fuck they add to that game, and people will pay like $20 for it, and they won't be like, Final Fantasy company is taking our money with greed. They literally added a Butterfinger mount, where if you bought Butterfingers and entered the code from Butterfingers in, you get a mount. I had a Scottish friend ask me, because they don't sell Butterfingers in Scotland. He said, can you buy me Butterfingers and give me the code for a mount? And I said, absolutely not, because I don't get a Butterfinger mount in WoW, so you don't get a mount from me.
Multiples? Was it like, oh no, you got me the code for the front half. I need the front and the back half of the Butterfinger mount.
You sound A, just like him, but B, I think it's just one mount. I think he literally... You have to purchase 5.
It was just like, buy me 5 so that you can enjoy 5 Butterfingers on your friend.
They have a weird requirement where like you have to buy $5 worth of Butterfingers, and I don't know how that's determined. I don't know how many codes you got to put in.
Can you buy like 2 big Butterfingers that are $2.50 each?
I'm assuming it's just certain Butterfingers that are coded with the barcode. I don't know, but like they have mounts like that where you buy candy from a store and you get a mount. If you did that in WoW, people be fucking losing their goddamn minds over store mounts and candy mounts.
I mean, I'm not like losing my mind, but I see the Plants vs. Zombies Sunflower and I'm like, I hate that. That's corporate greed infecting my game.
Do not come for Miss Sunflower. She is my favorite pet, period.
Also, you could just get it. You don't have to buy the game to get that. It's free.
No, I know. But just like knowing it's from a non-Blizzard property, I'm like, ugh.
But then you get to hear Sunflower randomly during raid. It's so good.
But to double back to the Belluar Final Fantasy thing, I saw that come up on my feed a lot too this week, and first off, I don't understand why people are confused about why Belluar is playing another game. Second off, like, has Belluar even been playing WoW anytime recently? So, like, why are people mad?
Hasn't he supposed to been working on his game that he scammed money out of people for?
I don't know what he's doing, but if he wants to play another game, please, for the love of God, let him.
Yeah.
That means less videos I gotta see from him.
Move that cancer onto another game.
Yeah, surgically remove it already. Like, don't make us win another feud against him, please. There's only so much winning we can handle here, you know?
I think we need more flying mounts, and I want goofier mounts. I had my Scottish friend who I mentioned earlier. He showed me his mountain collection, and I couldn't compete with him. Like their mounts are just absolutely crazy. Giant flying steampunk spider robots, things that are flying that have no business flying. I'm pretty sure he has like a giant, like with a humanoid on two legs that is just walking on the air. And I'm like, I want that. I want a giant walking on the air.
Okay, so I also don't want to like be like these people that are in the Wowhead comments, but I also don't want mounts that are like too drastically not WoW feeling, because it's like in Fortnite right now too. They've started adding these like skins. There's like a player character skin that is basically just an anime character, and it looks like anime like in the game. It looks really weird.
Are you
And
guys
then they
excited
added like
for
Rick and
for
Morty.
fucking? I was gonna say, you're
Yeah.
excited for fucking Rick Sanchez.
He's
It's
in
just
now.
it's just a bad 3D scan.
Yeah, and it just and it's like his style as well. Like it is like the cartoon style, but in the game. And I just feel like it looks really weird in the game. So I just don't want that in WoW either.
Well, I don't want cartoon characters in WoW. I do like it in Fortnite though because they're really easy to see, so I can shoot them easier. But I don't know. You don't want a big giant running on 2 feet through the air. That sounds cool. So do you want it or not?
I just want more mounts in general. And I know I sound like a glutton, like just more cool things.
You don't even use mounts.
Well, I mean, flying until that beautiful day that they make Running Wild allow you to take into the air. I am unfortunately cursed to use mounts outside of my own body.
Watch
But-
out, 9.2 Flying Wild.
I would love if like
God, I wish.
what if like one Christmas day you wake up and Great Father Christmas comes to all Worgen's house and he gives you like the Rudolph ceremony where he teaches you how to fly and lead his sled, and you fly with Great Father Winter up into the air on your 4 paws.
A boy can
But you
dream.
have to wear like little tiny like shitty cosplay butterfly wings.
I would do that in a heartbeat. That'd be amazing. But I don't know, just I feel like more random mounts that are just money or you just get them would be cool. I don't like the mounts being recolors of like the same thing and then being locked behind like a super epic duper mythic achievement. Like make some lesser versions, I guess, for just like, I don't know, pay us $20,000 or I don't know, just do this in the story. I liked getting mounts in the I can't think Covenant campaign. That's what I was saying. Getting them in the Covenant campaign and being like, wow, that's cool.
You mean our army of Gargans?
That will all lose relevancy 2 weeks into the
Oh, yeah.
9.1.
But then it's time for our army of bats to fly.
They've actually started to release some information of Chains of Domination's mounts, and there's some really dope ones and some really lame ones. For the lame ones, there is just straight up a unicorn brown recolor, and it's like brown is like the lamest color. I mean, this color is what I would imagine Korthia to look like, a very dark purple, like earthy brown tone. But then there's the fucking Dusklight Razor Wing, which, look at this thing. Apparently, it's like, it uses the model of the Horde Wyverns, I guess. But it has like crazy long claws. It looks like almost like a modern day TBC mount if it came out today.
Yeah, I'm peeking at your screen right now, and like this thing looks cool. I also really like the hot pink like spikes that are on it. Oh, and it can fly.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm seeing an image to air right now, so you
Ooh,
can comment
boy.
on this.
No, I found it. That shit's good. I want that. It's new. It's interesting.
And you get it by like, there's like it's another fucking mount where there's eggs you gotta farm, much like Pandaria, much like Burning Crusade. But like, it's supposed to be easy, like 6 days of stuff to get it. So like, hell yeah, like I'm pumped. Let's go.
Yeah, content.
Exactly,
Let's
and that's what I
go.
mean. Like interesting mounts that aren't like be number 1 in PvP. It's just like, explore the world, find this thing, and then do dailies for a week.
But then, have you seen? We may be getting close to getting a tease for when the date is coming out for Change Denomination.
That's how content starved we are. Did you hear? We're close to getting close to a tease to the release date.
Did you hear? I heard. I didn't hear. I felt a breeze. And the breeze whispered in my ear saying that in the days to come, there is potential for us to hear of possibly when we might hear of when they might decide to tell us when it might be out.
I consulted the tea leaves, and they made sort of a lowercase a, which means that could be August.
God, I hope it's like the end of July, maybe mid-July. So 6 days ago, we got, if you notice on your launcher, which I don't know if anyone's noticed, because I don't know who's playing WoW other than us right now, Blizzard posted a thing that says, prepare for liftoff. Get ready for flying in Chains of Domination. And I didn't see this, and I was like, oh my god, was there a date that I missed? No. But it basically says, they were like, earn your wings and a new special Covenant-themed mount in the major content update, Chains of Domination. Instead of a Pathfinder achievement, because everybody bitched and complained about how difficult Pathfinder was. Big air quotes around difficult. It's fucking easy.
It wasn't.
Play the game.
I hate to, I hate to be the mean man calling you all out. It wasn't. Just play the game.
Yeah, like what was the hardest? Like you literally explore the place, which you should do. Like
getting rep.
Do the quests, and then getting rep, like, you're almost there. Just, like, grind it out for, like, a day or two, maybe.
Which was so crazy, because everybody who was complaining about this were casual people who didn't do Mythic rating, or even regular Heroic rating, or even Mythic plus keys. It's just get rep, explore the zones, do your shit. It's not hard. What else are you doing in this game? So that's out of the window. Now all you have to do is reach Renown level 44, which again is playing the game, so who knows, it might be hard for some people to fucking do, and complete the last sigil step of the Covenant campaign. So you get basically, you get flying account wide, and you get a mount for each Covenant, which we already discussed. The ugly Night Fae one, and everybody else's good one.
Yes.
So, I was like, okay. So, like, normally when this comes out, they're like, everybody, yo, flying's coming soon. That's normally, like, the bell ringer of, like, don't worry, everybody. It's announcements are on the way. So, we'll see.
All I know is I need it to come out before, like, mid-August. Because Cubby Bub said that she will not play until 9.1 is coming out. And she's got to get her sloth.
Is she only playing for, the story content?
Mm-hmm. Well, and you know what we fucked up is because she did all the story content. She got to level 40, and then we did all of Castle Nathria on normal in one run, and after that she said, I'm done.
That's fair. I mean, like, she could always do, like, the Chromie time if she wanted to, like, experience the old stories, I suppose.
She probably will.
We can also,
alts,
get her some, like, transmog from dungeons and raids, and, like, there's mounts. There's lots of mounts that I'm sure she does not have that we could, like, help her get. Also, I don't know if you know, you probably don't know, but our raid nights have turned into old mythic raid farming for tier sets.
Ooh.
And we actually ran through a bunch of Legion raids yesterday, and we're going to continue to do some today. And they're like raids that you literally cannot do alone because they're Legion raids. And Mythic still kicks your ass so fucking hard.
It was actually kind of fun. It felt like we were soft progging these boss fights. And I was honestly triggered by some of these fights because you guys remember how fucking awful it was to like do just heroic kill Jaden back in the day. Like we successfully killed it like once.
I think we did twice and called it. Honestly, it might be once and called it.
I never did because I was in prison.
Oh yeah, you missed it. So like, I went back and I tried to find groups to like run this content with in BFA, and like I had groups where Mythic killed Jaden, they just couldn't do it. We had to call it because it wasn't the damage was not there. We actually killed Mythic killed Jaden yesterday with like 10 of us, and like it was like playing Pushy Penguins in Mario Party 2, I believe. There's a mechanic where it's an intermission, so you can't kill the boss. You literally just have to avoid being blasted off the edge by the many penguins rushing towards you. And like there was 10 of us, and for a while only 2 of us could make it to the end, and we didn't have the damage to kill it before the next pushy penguins.
Yeah, so we basically progged on Mario Party 2's Pushy Penguins last night, and by the end, like we had enough people alive in the final phase to kill it, and it felt good.
It's just so stupid, and it was great because we all got a title. Now we are the Darkeners, which I don't know about that title. It's kind of weird, but I'll take it. So tonight we're actually finishing up Mythic Antorus, I believe. So if you want to get some quick mog, it's there, Aaron.
I'll definitely think about it.
All right. Well, you know what? I guess I'm just gonna pull a time warp here while we still got some time.
It's been a while.
Excuse me, what did you say?
It's been a while.
Since I've been something. I'm pulling up my timer. I haven't searched timer in forever, so it is like, what are you doing? Okay, I finally found it. Christ. All right, so these 2 banana heads have 40 seconds to answer the correct... Oh, God. Hang on, I haven't said this in forever. Okay. I'm also drunk. I haven't drank it in a while. Okay. These 2 knuckleheads have 40 seconds to give me as many correct answers to the question I am going to ask them. Are you guys ready?
Okay, bud?
I'm good. Are y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes.
Listen, the script is not in front of me. What do I do? Okay, so my question to them that they will give me answers to. Name as many Slidewhistle alts as you can. Ready, set, go.
Slidewhistle, Deoxyribos, Wild Seed,
Felipe,
Homozygous, Tapeworm,
Wow.
well, there's a bunch, but
forget.
there's some you haven't played on. Bludgeon.
Ellen.
This is homophobic.
Homosexual, bisexual.
Oh, yep, it's definitely bisexual. Hey.
Aquarius.
Hey.
Aquaria.
Tie. I'm pretty sure. I think Aaron might have barely won there at the end. Oh, I got a face immune. However, the first 5 seconds was very hard. A lot of names came out of the gate. My headcanon is a 5-4 Aaron to immune. But the real question is, does bisexual count as an alt? I have the name saved, but I haven't done any leveling on bisexual. That's the real question here for the gamers out there.
So
you have spoken about the fact that you have bisexual, and well, they may not have been played. It is certainly forefront in your mind.
It is a name I own. I'll let the tape roll back. I'll let the editor, Aaron, make sure that this is the correct winner. But in the meantime, I'll take a shot because I was... Oh, Immune's taking the shot. He's jumping in front of the bullet for me.
Well, it's a good thing that he did, 'cause he lost. Hey, everyone. Thursday morning editor Aaron here, coming to you live with I guess not live. I am pre-recorded by the time you hear this, but I'm coming to you with the results. So my good friend Immunization had Wild Seed, Achilles, Felipe, Frigate, and Alan. And ya boy had Slidewhistle, Deoxyribos, Homozygous, Tapeworm, Bludgeon, Bisexual, and the fight for Aquaria was neck and neck. I started saying it a little bit beforehand, so I am the winner of this one. Na boo boo, Immunization. Stick your head in doo-doo.
What a fool.
What a loser. He were ready to do the deed and he sacrificed for nothing.
Did nobody say deoxyribose, or did I just miss it?
I did.
Okay, I think it was at the very beginning. Then.
Yes, I did. It was the second thing I said.
It was like, hello, but everyone's favorite gnome. I miss him. I think I want to get more alts leveled up now that there's no raiding happening at all in my life.
Same. I need to level up alts, and I need to gear them for no particular reason.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, in 1 week's period, we went from raiding 4 nights a week, or, like, 5 to, like, none. So, well, anyways, I'm back with my shot, so I'm going to take the shot.
Take it.
It's weird how much I value raiding as, like, an activity I do, because I really do oddly miss raiding 4 nights a week. I always said, I'm not going to join a mythic guild because they raid too much. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I kind of like the structure of raiding so often. And I feel like now if I were to join a pug raid, I'd be like, I'm too rusty. Like, I'm going to die and get kicked. And I hate that feeling. Oh my God, Draenor, we get kicked so many fucking times for being bad at the game.
I was still getting kicked in Legion. Fucking Bear, real estate agent extraordinaire, was kicking me out every other night.
I forgot he literally benched you. He was like, Growl, listen.
I just don't know if we're gonna need you tonight, as he would say over comms. And I'd be like, okay, where is he? Where's he?
It's funny, actually, during our Legion Legacy raids last night, we were making bear jokes because we were in Antorus, and there was those mysterious orbs that if you walk over them, then it summons an ad. And Cass said, I can just hear Bear right now. You guys, what are you doing? And I'm like, Cass is fucking getting Bear right now. He's not even here to defend himself.
All I know is if we ever go back and do Lady of Virtue in, what's it called? I forgot the name of that raid, but if we ever do that one, I have a lot to say.
Tomb of Sargeras, yeah, it's Maiden of Virtue.
Yeah, because he made sure to bench me on that fight every single time, and then proceeded to not know how to do it.
That was my best. That was my favorite part. Is that I assume it was the other tank telling him, which I don't remember who was the other tank during then, because it was Bear and who?
Fuck it, it was the old man.
Oh, was it Pro?
Oh, it's Pro.
No, the what?
Oh, yeah, I love that the old men who had lower DPS were able to tank so well, though. After, like, 6 times. You know what I mean? It took them a little bit to figure it out, but they got it. Good times, good times.
Ooh, something interesting that was announced this week is, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's actually a BattleNet update, which now allows us to interact via BNet. Like, you can add people on EU servers. I
did see that, and I was like, wow, EU servers? Ew! I don't like them. Just kidding. That's very cool for people who have people who are actually European, and then people weirdos in the US who are like, I just like playing EU servers. So like that woman at my work.
That is weird, because I feel like most of the time your connection will be bad. But anyways, it doesn't, we can't play with them yet, but I wonder if this means that that's something that they're considering, like a cross-server play between US and EU servers.
There's been a lot of talk about that, about making them able to cross-play with other accounts. But the way that their servers are set up, they would have to completely overhaul their system, because their servers are sharded via, actual locations, right? They would have to, completely shift how they host everything. And while I can see it happening to modernize the game, that's a huge fucking project to do.
I wonder if there's a way for them to, on one BNet account, just allow you to, create a character on an EU server, even though most of yours are on a US server, or vice versa.
That would help, because, right now, we're just bound to, to change to EU, I have to have a completely different, I think, BNet account to do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need, a whole other sub, at least.
Which, honestly, shout out to the Chinese spammers on Illidan, out there paying for 2 WoW accounts to just absolutely decimate the boards.
I also love that the whole post was just basically we want to break down barriers to everybody. We want to have everybody as a community included. That was BNet's original idea. At the very, very bottom, there's an asterisk, and it says excluding China. And like, I get it. I get it. It makes sense, but it's just so funny to see it there.
I mean, to
But
be
not you,
to be
China.
fair, they don't want to be here, so we don't want them there.
I mean, because they allow like that, we're just gonna be like Tiananmen Square was real, and then like that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the end of the fucking thing, right? Like,
Yep. The whole division shut down.
so I mean, it could mean, I mean, this may lead the way into not just like cross country or cross localization,
Continental.
cross continental, but this could also be a part of their potential to be able to group with Horde and Alliance as a group if they make, because I think about how much the play rates would increase if you can group with A, Horde and Alliance, and B, Horde and Alliance of other continents.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people want like cross-factional play, although sometimes honestly it feels like the three of us are on like the minority side here where we don't want that to happen, but here we are.
I mean, if they can find a way to make it work for dungeons and raids, but again, I guarantee you we're gonna run into the problem of, oh, I don't want any fucking Alliance babies in here, or I don't want any Horde old men in here.
I don't remember where I saw it, but at some point I saw like making it so that you have like normal mode, war mode, and then like a mercenary mode, which is like the other way. So like if you have to spec into it so that you can queue, like you can just be an all-in-one pool.
Yeah, that could work, and like it happens in PvP, but I've seen the mercenaries, the Horde mercenaries, who have to come over and lose their battleground, and the first thing they say is, "This is why I don't play Alliance. I'm a merc, and I hate them."
They just go and become double toxic.
Yeah, or like even just alliance players on your team who are like, ugh, this is just my alliance. All my mains are on Horde. You guys suck.
It's like, okay, come on. Like, this is a bad game, but like sitting in your chat and typing is going to help. And that problem is going to be escalated by 16 years of a faction fighting, which I'm kind of okay with a little bit. As long as we can keep the player base sustained. They have the numbers. They know that more players are playing Horde than Alliance. Apparently, if you're Horde, you can find a key group at 3 in the morning. Easy peasy. Alliance side, that's just fucking hard. It's really difficult.
I don't know about you, but like I was out here plugging my like Aussie keys at like 5 a.m.
So the faction imbalance was created due to like one racial ability 10 years ago. Do they just fix one alliance group to have a slightly different racial ability and then things are evened or the balance shifts?
So I've seen them discuss this, and they do not believe that making the Alliance overpowered in their racials is going to convince people to come over to Alliance side. And they also don't think that it's healthy to have an overpowered racial on the Alliance side.
But
because they recognize that it was a mistake in the first place to do that Horde side. So that they don't want to recreate it.
The only unfortunate thing is, even if they don't recreate it, they ruined the balance because of it. Like
the mistake that they made.
Its effects are being felt 11 years later.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. The mistake that they made 10 years ago is like the reason why it's hard to like Mythic Prog as Alliance now, like in Raid.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because they recognize that there was a problem initially, but now it's too late. People have their lines drawn in the sand, they have their friends on one side, or they have their allegiance to one side. So there's not really anything they can honestly do at this point. Like, the Hall of Fame was definitely a way to try to entice Horde guilds to switch to Alliance. It didn't work. I don't know how many other ways they can maneuver around. There's probably honestly nothing, right? Because I think about it. What if it was flipped? What if we were the overpowered group? What would it take for us three to switch to Horde? The answer is nothing. I would never do it, right?
That's
yeah,
fair.
but that's because we are the people who actually identify with this faction, as opposed to people who are just playing the faction because our friends are playing it, or playing the faction because it's the one that's air quotes
Yeah,
min max,
like,
you know?
and I don't know. I don't want to throw people under the bus or whatever. In 2010, when this was happening, how many people were like, "Oh my fucking god, I love being a dark spear troll. I'm all about the dark spear troll life."
I mean,
versus they were like, I love the plus 3% I get off of beast attacks.
I mean, there probably are a lot of people though who identify as dark spirit trolls in their WoW gameplay, right? I mean, like, and maybe when they first started, it wasn't conscious. It was just like, this is great and we're the best. But also, like, I love everything because, like, for me right now, who has switched so many alts so many fucking times, I'm pretty sure that I'm a night elf. Like, I have a demon hunter night elf, a druid night elf. I'm like 33% gnome, I think.
Wow, did you get like DNA test done? Is this like ancestry or something?
Azeroth century.
Wow.
Like, I mean, like, I could see it being like their friends were on the OP faction because the dark spirit trolls were OP, and they're like, "Hey, friend, come join us over here." Because, like, you don't have to tell somebody who's new that we're OP, right? You're just like, "This is where I am. Come play with me." And they're like, I'm a troll. I'm a troll. I'm a troll. I'm a troll. So, like, I mean, I imagine this is exactly how their meetings go, trying to figure out how to switch people to Alliance side. They don't fucking know either, and they probably can't at this point. But they need to make more interesting races for the Alliance to play as that will convince the monster race to come play as them. That's basically it.
You know what the thing is yeah, like, is that, I mean, is aesthetics really an important thing? Because you look at the Alliance and they have, I mean, if you consider the Draenei, which, because they do have wiggly tentacle faces and hooves, they only have 2 monster people. Is the fix to make more monster people over here?
Listen, hear me out. Give Alliance, Allied Race, Arakoa, Lego.
Yes. That would be a start.
I would love Arakoa's. Oh my god.
I've seen a lot of yucky bird guys online. I will open my arms to them and accept them in.
So I actually had this problem when I was playing Classic. I was like, okay, who can I be? I can be a human, okay. I can be a dwarf, okay, a shorter human. I could be a gnome, a shortest human, or I can be a night elf. I'll be a night elf. And then I'm like, Horde, I can be an orc, a tauren. Like, at the very get-go, it was imbalance in picking the monster races that is cool.
Yeah,
versus
picking visual difference. And especially in Classic, because also I don't know if you can even do different skin tones there.
Nope.
So yeah, it's like you said, it's like, do I pick medium white guy, small white guy, or tiny white guy?
Or purple dude with big ears.
Yeah, or one different looking person.
At this point, it's just like, we're here, we're queer. Oh, it's Pride Month. We haven't even talked about it being fucking Pride Month yet. We did it. We made it. Another Pride Month, everybody.
Everyone go buy your boring merch. Go buy it. It's your 1 month to do so before they clam up.
Yeah, and like, you know that at the end of this month, they will take their rainbows away, pack them away until next year.
I've gotten so many emails from so many companies about their Pride Month clothing, and I don't understand who's making this clothing. It's so ugly.
Okay, so I just got an email from my work earlier today, and I guess my company is doing a Pride Month thing where...
Are you, for your company, are you registered as official gay?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't know what information they have about me. They probably do. But anyways, the thing is where, like, I guess as a like, if you donate to their set of LGBT plus, blanking on the word, like, fundraisers, and show them your receipt, they will give you a pin, a rainbow pin with our company's logo on it. And I'm like, bitch, like, how about you pay me $20 and then also give me the pin? It's my month, bitch.
And I kind of love that. But part of that, what gets me, so, like, for Blizzard, right, they have rainbow shirts with the company's thing on it. And I guess the gay employees, the LGBT employees of Blizzard had to fight for these to be released. And I love that. I love that. They were like, no, this has to happen. But they don't advertise that part enough, that the gay employees are the ones pushing these things out. Can somebody please help the gay employees make more fashionable, cool designs?
Yeah, like, I refuse to believe, and I don't know how many gay employees are there at Blizzard, but there at least has to be one or two who are not only gay, but also are like, can we get interesting visual designs? Can we get more than just the name of the company in rainbow? Like, we have canonical gay characters now. Can we get Chromie? Can we get Matthias Shaw, Flynn Fairwind? Even the gay, if they were like, yo,
yes,
man, it's Pride Month, can we get the two gay deer on
exactly,
a shirt?
exactly.
I'd buy the gay deer shirt.
No, literally, you can still have the Rainbow Blizzard logo at the top of it, but then underneath it, put all the characters that you just mentioned, and then fucking throw on those two lesbian mermaid, like the mermaid and the...
spoils, but yeah,
whoa.
throw the gay mermaid and Tide Sage. Hell, even throw like, even if it's a Warcraft shirt, put like Tracer in the background just for extra emphasis. But like, you guys have actual gay people. Why not like celebrate them instead of being like, here's the logo?
I would absolutely love a Rainbow Blizzard logo, a smaller logo, please, and just have just the two deer. No words, no explanation. I know what it means. Other gay folk know what it means if they're Blizzard players. That's it. That'd be so fucking dope. Well, I guess since we spoiled it, we should talk about our book club stories.
I think it's about time to dive back into our DNR Book Club, baby.
Woo! Operative word being dive.
I've got my reading glasses on.
The library is open, honey.
And I actually have the book this week, so I won't just be going, wow, that's neat.
And, you know, you said opportune word, dive. And that is because we are starting off this week by discussing the story from the most recent World of Warcraft book, World of Warcraft Folk and Fairytales of Azeroth. And we're going to do the Why the Mermaids Left Boralus story this week. And it was a good one.
So I will say,
I really like it.
Yeah, it was great. However, I'm going to say the first 5 pages, I was like, man, are we going anywhere with this shit? But then I didn't realize how fucking long this one was. This is like our longest one yet.
So, yes, in defense of the first 5 pages, I feel like a lot of it was setting up the characters, the place, and the situation that make the plot in the second half sort of relevant. So the whole thing is that it's the story of early Kultiris, and specifically the city of Boralus when it was brand new and it was not protected from the elements. The people were being decimated every year or multiple times per year by a huge wave that would just kill everyone. And then also there are mermaids, but because they're denizens of the sea and don't die as much, all the Kultirans see them as bad omens. They spent a long time explaining it, but that's sort of the background to the story.
Oh, it definitely paid off. But like, when they fucking said each passing year produced at least one storm that threatened to wipe the rocks clean of Boralus for good. In the morning, they said the drowned bodies bobbed so thick in the harbor that the living would just cover them with weighted nets and sink them to the ocean floor. So many fucking people died in Boralus every year from the big storm.
Man, and we have the audacity to say that the little tiny jump from that one, like, staircase to the ship was too much for us.
There would be times where I'd be at the counting house and I needed to get to the portals and I'm like, oh god, just kill me. But that trip could have killed me, like, 50 years ago.
Right? It's just like, kill me, throw me under, throw the weighted net over me, let's go.
I also think another important element of the story is the mermaids and how intertwined they were with Boralus at this time. So obviously, as we know, we've seen 0 fucking mermaids in Boralus in our time in BFA. Mermaids are not sirens. They make that very clear. The mermaids call sirens lazy.
They are a weird subrace of, and I don't want to spoil too much, but like foreign creatures, but still humanoid enough to be like kissable.
Ooh.
They are this strange, sexy missing link between sea life as we know it.
Yeah, when they first were describing them, I was like, are these just Naga? I was like, no, they're not fucking Naga. These are honest to God.
I really wanted it to be Naga.
Me too.
Because I was like, that's so funny if someone falls in love with one.
Is there honest to God what you think of when you hear mermaids? Humanoid tops, fishy bottoms. Like, that's it. And the mermaids, they borrow their power from, is it the Tide Mother? Which is a different Tide Mother than what the Tide Sages talk about, which I thought was also kind of weird. And each mermaid is like allotted a certain amount of power, and they try not to use their power in excess, because if they do, they just go and they disappear. They don't leave a corpse. They just pop out of existence when they're out of magical energy that's given to them by their creator.
So they are their own mana bar.
Basically, yeah. I think the average lifespan was like 500 years, I think I saw. And so they just kind of, they go into the history of mermaids. They go into a little bit more Tide Sage history about how important they were, because the Tide Sages were literally the only barrier between Boralus and the sea coming in. So Tide Sages would go onto ships with them, and they would help get them back home. But at the end of the day, the Tide Sage was the only barriers they had, and so many of them would just die, being the last ones saving the city from like total destruction.
So in this background, our story features, there's a young mermaid named Halia, and she is deeply curious and observant, like every mermaid story, of the world above, and specifically of a ship, I believe it is called the Wind Racer?
The Windward.
The Windward, yes. And a young Tide Sage on it, like the Tide Sage associated with it, named Aerie, and I can't find her full name, but they refer to her as Aerie pretty much every single moment after that.
And they just kept Aerie is like, she's like, oh, because like this is mostly from like, I feel like Halia's perspective, kind of for the most part. It's like Aerie's like a beautiful, like the sun has like burned her skin dark, which is funny because I don't think that's true. She's just like a dark skinned Quotiran, right? Because the image we have of her, I'm like, oh, that's a black girl.
Which also, so this is the only thing I'm gonna say. It was, and it wasn't good or bad. They described her as a Quotiran woman, so I was thinking big, muscly, stocky, like the ones you play as. And then they feature a picture of the two of them sort of meeting face to face, and it's just like a standard sized human. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Quotirans can just sort of be like average size. So it's like in the story, she was this big, stocky woman, and all of a sudden she had to like shrink down in the narrative. And I was like, oh, because I have a picture of her now.
Also, like, this story, how much before current Boralus does it take place, do you guys think?
This is very, very early Boralus. This is like Boralus' like beginnings.
So do you think the Quotirans, air quotes, then were basically just Eastern Kingdomsers? Like, so like they're probably more so just
make sense.
humans
yeah.
than like not Quotiran humans.
They're just humans, and then the years of being fishermen and being tough made them all 6'2" and 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's kind of how they framed it, because they actually reference Gilneas, not by name, but they say like they didn't consider themselves Quotirans at the time. They just considered themselves from the peninsula, and the peninsula is Gilneas, where they came from. Because they're literally just living on a slippery ass rock at this point. And they also like, yeah, the Navy has nothing on us. Like, they're like, you would scoff at Marines if you were a Quotiran back then. I'm like, Jesus, okay, calm down, like chill. Not our troops. there's just this really, really, the bad storm is coming. It's a coming, baby. And previous to the storm, the Windward is sailing out and in, out and in, out and in, and I almost said Halsey. What's her name? Halia, not Halsey.
Yeah. Alia.
I mean, like, Halsey could fit into this story, technically, I guess.
So Halsey is following the ship for, like, months, almost even years at this point. And she's basically fallen in, like, love with the Tide Sage on the ship, who's Aerie. And she just, like, I just love following them. She leaves her gifts. She leaves her, like, pearls. And honestly, just a lot of pearls. And Aerie's like, I don't want this shit. And she knocks it into the water. It's like, nah, this isn't mine.
No, I don't want that.
But they're, like, really valuable pearls. And she's like, oh, I guess the humans don't value pearls. Like, we don't value pearls. Because these are just fucking seeds for weeds. I'm like, what? Pearls are seeds for weeds? Excuse me?
Okay, so I have to ask. So the two fall in love. Did that seem kind of sudden for you guys? Because the quote is like, so Aerie gives her a knife. Helia was thrilled and knew only joy. Aerie was grave and deeply moved. When they kissed and confirmed the other felt likewise, I was like, whoa, we're kissing now?
You know, yes and no. The kiss felt sudden to me, but I did feel like Aerie, the Coltarian, she spent an entire ship length thinking about a gift to give back to Halia. Because the whole idea of Aerie was that she's a hardened Tide Sage. She doesn't care about anything about that other than protecting the ship and the Coltarians who live there. And then she was like, hang on, what gift can I give this mermaid who's always giving me gifts? And she's like, I know, I'll make her a knife. And she spent one whole trip making her a knife. And I was like, okay, maybe Aerie's a little bit into Halsey. And then it was like,
Oh, I'm just, like, laughing to myself that I guess we've established that we are nicknaming Halia Halsey now.
Oh, here it is. So it says, and indeed at first, Aerie was solemn over the mermaid's offerings. And then she was touched by them. And then over a while, she was amused by them. She spent a whole voyage wondering how to return a gift to the fair mermaid. For Aerie, a human, not too austere to admire Halsey's lovely face and form, nor her profusion of kelp green curls, nor even her coral-colored tail. So see, she was thinking about her sexily from then.
I mean, so you're saying that Aerie basically named her the sexiest NPC of that boat trip.
No, she fucking did. Because she basically, so they smoosh, and then she was like, yo, Halsey, we can't tell anybody about this shit. Because mermaids were stigmatized. Whenever they appeared, the storms followed them. Only because the mermaids were like, a storm's coming, let's get all the fish while they're running away. And so Coltarians became the stigmatized mermaids as a harbinger of doom.
But you know what happens after they start smooching? A big fucking storm comes.
A monstrous storm comes, and a fucking Aerie and her, like, 4 Tide Sages who are there, I imagine it as only 5 of them, were on the dock, stopping the storm from coming in. They don't have a seawall to stop this horrible storm coming in. And the other Tide Sages were stuck behind the storm, because on land, it was just as bad. People were drowning behind her as well as in front of her. So it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah, so Aerie and her, I guess if we go by your lore, it is Aerie and her party, like a party of 5, I guess, shamans trying to stop this massive wave from basically wiping out Boralus for good.
They could get pretty far. I mean, no one's a tank, but you got a lot of healers and DPS there.
It should be fine. They have a lot of rock elementals they can summon, right?
Yeah, 5.
So literally Aerie is like fighting the storm, and Halsey's like, I gotta save my girlfriend, even though she said she won't. So there's also this lore where if Halsey, she told Aerie multiple times, I will cut your feet from like the toes to the ankles, and if you do that and throw you into the water, the Tide Mother will show pity on you and will give you legs, or will give you fish tails, I guess, like the mermaid has. And I was like, is that really how it works? Like, is that it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is
That sounds
that
like
still good? If I cut my feet in half, do I get to become a mermaid now?
it sounds like that middle school shit. Like, oh my god, I'm a mermaid. Don't spill any water on me on accident.
I'm interested. I wish I could have gone to middle school with you because you've talked about both girls whose eyes change
they
when
love
they're
that.
angry and girls who are mermaids.
Let me say, like, those two, that Venn diagram, it overlaps very
I was
heavily.
about to say, is it just one circle?
It's pretty tight. It's pretty tightly knit there. But so earlier she's like, I can cut your feet and you can be a mermaid. And she's like, no, Halsey, I have shit to do on land. I have a duty to Kultirans. I have a duty to the Tide Mother, my Tide Mother, who's not your Tide Mother. And I have shit to do. I can't do that. Also, don't tell anybody I love you. They're going to hate me if I tell you that. So this big storm's bashing the fucking city. And Ares blocking it all. And Halsey's like, I'm going to help. And she's using up her magical power. She's literally killing herself, trying to raise a sea wall to prevent the storm from coming in. And Halsey's mermaid sisters and all of her friends and family back home in Mermaid Coves under Boralus are coming out and like, Halsey, don't kill yourself. We would kill ourselves to protect you.
Yeah, you're young and gay. You are the pillar of our community. We will sacrifice ourselves, for it is June, the month of doing so.
Woo!
Yeah, so basically Halsey and all of her, like, mermaid fam are, like, slowly raising this giant seawall made of, like, mud and stone and stuff.
And Halsey's fucking family and friends they're popping because they're using all their magic up, so they're fucking dying. They're literally dying.
Yeah, they are literally sacrificing their life for the seawall, but, like, eventually enough of them, I guess, have sacrificed themselves. Enough of them have sacrificed themselves to create a strong enough wall to hold against this storm.
And the entire time, Aerie is standing on top of the wall at this point. And she's the last Tide Sage left. Her party is dead. The other four did not make it. She has no B-res to get any of them up. And people are standing on the docks like, holy shit, guys, we're gonna fucking die. Like, so she's like, blocking the fucking waters from coming in. People get now they describe it as people helping her, but they didn't seem like Tide Sages. What were they fucking doing? Throwing like bricks at it? Throwing like wood at it? Like what were they doing?
Yeah, I would assume they're just throwing rocks at the seawall to be like, see, the seawall's bigger because I threw a rock at it.
They're like beavers or something? I don't know.
And then it culminates basically in Aerie and the mermaids saving the fucking town. Aerie has spent all of her energy blocking everything, and she is dead. She's deceased. She's not living. And Halsey is still alive somehow. Oh, it's because she's the youngest mermaid. The youngest one of the whole clan. So that's why she has the most magical energy to spend. Though she is dying still.
So Halsey basically hops up there with Aerie and, like, chops off her toesies and then drags her into the water.
Well, and not even drags. It's a very minor thing, but she said, the water, the sea, you must return me to it. So some big Kultiran man just kind of shoves him. He kicks him and rolls him into the sea.
It's like, they were like, what is this fucking mermaid saying to us? And as she's shouting it, she's literally chopping off the soles of Aerie's feet. Like, is she like flaying her fucking feet at this point?
Now I just envision it differently. I see, like, Halsey hop up onto the land, and there's, like, this Kultiran guy, like, next to Aerie trying to, like, mend her, and then all that guy hears is Halsey going as she chops off Aerie's toes, and then he's like, ugh, gross, and then kicks them both into the sea.
I don't know what you are, but you're yucky. And he kicks them.
And so this big man kicks him into the fucking sea. Garage boots him into the sea. And it's just, she gets revived. Aerie gets saved by the Tide Mother.
She becomes a mermaid. But then they look at each other and they're like, oh shit, we're gay. We can't make any more mermaids. Let's just, I don't know. Well, let's spend the rest of our days on, like, the San Francisco Pier in the sun.
I thought about that, because basically that's how it ends. It ends with just those two. They're both okay. Aerie shows herself to the Kultiran crowd, and it's just like, look at my eyes. They're open. I'm alive. I'm good. Bye, everybody. and they see her tail flick out of the ocean, and that's it. They never see mermaids again. Where do these two go?
Just out into the sea to frolic forevermore, I guess, but the tale of Aerie is told apparently to all Kaltirians for all time, and, the story is told, and it is basically the founding story of why Borealis is allowed to currently exist.
Also, and the thing she's remembered for is when the water takes on a scarlet hue. They know that as like the blood of Aerie. And can you imagine, you are a super cool Tide Sage with like years of service. You save the town, and everyone remembers you for when your wife took your unconscious body, sliced off your toesies, and everyone's like, wow, she really made a mess.
Really bled into that
That's
ocean.
the mess of Aerie.
Though, as fucked up as it is, I did love that ending. It was just like on certain calm sunsets, when the red is deeply reflected on the surface of the harbor, old sailors call it Aerie's blood, which presages good weather in remembrance of the dutiful Tide Sage and the mermaid who loved her so faithfully. Which I think was a good ending, but also Aaron's right. It's like, damn, she did more than that. She did more than bleed.
Yeah, this is my call to action. Aerie deserves more than just being remembered for her toes bleeding.
So I think she is, though. I think like this tale, as we just described it, is kind of more or less told amongst Kaltirians, probably.
Yeah, because now at the end of it, they're just like, now they revere mermaids as their saviors, which is ironic because they didn't appreciate them until they all fucking popped out of existence because they got their magic up. All the old ones died first. Now it's really sad in the story.
So in lore, were these the last two mermaids and they can't reproduce because they are a lesbian couple?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I guess they could have fucked the siren. No, sirens are just only females. So no, that's it. That's all they got.
Also, and I don't want to say anything, but there is a distinct part where they talk about they were so strapped for the mermaids. Were so strapped for materials that they were using the bones and leftovers of drowned people in the wall. Does that mean the supposed seawall of Borealis is composed of like 200 dead guys?
I mean, they do not blame the mermaids for this. It's the Kaltirians who literally grouped it all up, put them down at the bottom of the sea. So, like, this is at the top of the sea for the mermaids to go down, and they're just going for mud at the bottom of the ocean, but, like, that's all they could find.
Wait, yeah, because they knew that the mermaids were living in the water, so they're like, well, the mermaids are gonna love all these bones we're sitting down to them. That's kind of fucked up. But yeah, honestly, I love the story. Pretty good. Great Pride Month accessory. The beginning, long 5 pages, really made up for it at the end there.
Yeah, a good read. Another good addition to our DNR Book Club here.
And you know what? It did mention Gilneas, vaguely by geographical reference, and that gives it my A+.
At that point, the Gilneans still there were like, I'm fucking glad I didn't fucking go to Coltiris.
Yeah, they see big bloated tan bodies going on the shore, and they were like, oh, it seems like they kind of fucked up, didn't they? Anyways, let's what's neat? Let's build a big wall and then open up a green portal to the Emerald Dream.
What if
that seems real neat.
they were like, oh wow, they're making a big wall? We had that first. Get out of here.
Ugh.
Okay, so I think it's time for us to head on into our sexiest NPC of the week. And this week, as previously alluded to on a stream I held earlier this week, we are naming Doomlord Kazik our sexiest NPC of the week. And in particular, the incarnation of Kazik, who is the world boss in Warlords of Draenor in the Tanan Jungle, baby.
My favorite part about Kazik are his 2 long tentacles coming out from his chin. For when you just want to pull him in.
Yeah, baby. But don't forget that it's Supreme Lord Kazik, Aaron, because Doom Lord was TVC and Supreme Lord was Warlords of Draenor.
What the fucking...
Well, fucking slide. I don't... I'm sorry,
Lord,
Aaron. What?
Lord Kazik is his Wowpedia thing. Hold on, let me Google.
The Supreme Lord Kazakh is the one from Tanan Jungle. You got it right the first time.
I mean, I literally looked this up before the podcast, so I should have just stuck to my guns, honestly.
We love Supreme Lord
This
Kazakh.
guy is nothing.
Nothing.
I've seen a million guys that look like this
What?
guy.
Excuse me. Don't let him hear this, okay?
This is the world boss that besides Doomroller, which is probably a sexiest NPC in the future, honestly. But besides Doomroller, he's the, like, world boss that I remember most from Warlords of Draenor. Like, especially because, like, he was up on his own peninsula, and just, like, the number of times that I ran around that corner and just immediately got nuked by one of his mechanics and then had to just run back again and hope that, like, I was alive enough to loot him at the
And
end.
the worst was when you'd fucking get there, but you didn't get there because all the fucking demons in front of him would kill you first before you could make it into him.
Well, I may have praised the wrong Kazakh. I am formally taking it back, because while the other ones had tentacles on his chin, this man just has a tasteful flavor saver. A little beard that I can use to really grip onto him when I'm rubbing his green jewel, if you catch my drift.
Oh, I catch your fucking drift, baby. Oh, imagine hearing those hooves clack together in bed.
I mean, he also has 2 pretty spectacular horns for all of those horny motherfuckers in bed with him. And he also has a pretty sizable flaming sword.
Ooh, if by sizable you mean small. He's out there with the little knife Avengers out there reminding you.
It's pretty big.
Not in literally any picture I'm seeing.
Listen, regardless of its size, he knows how to properly use it, okay?
Also, he's humongous.
And that's what's important.
Okay, my favorite part are his knee pads. Are those glued to him? Because I don't see a strap around the back of his knee. So how is he keeping those on?
He's like those anti-vax people who are like, the vaccine makes you magnetic. He took the vaccine and it made him magnetic.
If you think the vaccine is magnetic, stop listening to us forever, because you're a fucking idiot.
Also, if you, like, don't trust the vaccine and won't fucking get it, like, get out of here.
Or, I mean, as long as you don't fake your ID card to bars. That's all I gotta say about that. Aaron.
What?
I just wanted to say
That's not true. That's not true. Please don't slander me. This is a program.
Okay, just hijack this, because Slide already did. He has a coworker whose boyfriend now is doing that.
Excuse me, I'm currently unemployed. My ex-coworker said this. Please get it right.
Well, your ex-coworker is going to have an ex-boyfriend when he dies of the COVID.
That's what I told him, but that's a story for next week's podcast. Supreme Lord Kazakh, though, what do you think he orders from Taco Bell?
Hopefully the naked chicken chalupa.
Oh my god, the number of ads I have gotten for that fucking naked chicken chalupa.
It's real,
it's a
like
lot.
6, 7 out of 10. It's not.
Yes, it's not good.
but
It's
not
not
bad.
that good. You could order better menu items than that, for sure.
I'm more interested in ordering Bennu. Maybe he can be next week's.
To answer your question properly, I would assume that Supreme Lord Kazakh orders a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah, boy, that's what I was going for. But I like the joke better.
And he eats it, folds up so that it doesn't all fall out when he eats it. That's how you know he's a
He
smarty.
wants to keep his little pointy beard pristine.
I don't like when the tomatoes fall out and get all over my plate.
So you said that his beard is a flavor saver, so like it definitely could collect the like whatever falls out of his Crunchwrap Supreme for later, which like honestly would be a turn on for me in bed.
I guess, but like how much time do you want to give those diced tomatoes in his beard before you eat them?
I was just about to say, my fresh love juice being in his beard, that's one thing. Some old lettuce from last Sunday's Taco Bell run, not
That
so
cheese
much.
goes hard pretty quickly if you don't eat it.
I mean, that cheese is hard while
some-
you eat it.
Some sour cream in between the strands? No, sir. Only, unless it's my sour cream.
Yeah, baby. Congrats, Supreme Lord Kasich. You're our sexiest NPC of the week.
I'll give you your award in 2015.
Well, I think it's properly time to head on into our top toot, bottom boot, or medium moot of the week now. Slidewhistle, what do you have?
I got myself one of them top toots of the week.
What's your top toot of the week?
So my top toot is how close I currently am to achieving Keystone Master somehow, some way, through the sheer willpower of people finally catching up in our guild.
How many
Oh
more
boy.
dungeons do you need, Mr. Slidewhistle?
I just need one more and I'm fucking done. If anybody has a 15 the other side key, for the love of God, please hand it over and give it to me, because that's the least key we see in this group.
I thought I saw you guys do a 15.
Oh,
What happened? Who fucked
I'm not gonna
up?
give that a bottom boot because
Name them.
I don't blame anybody, because we have not been in Miss of Tierna Scythe or the other side at a 15 level in, I'm not even kidding, like for me personally, like 3 to 4 months. We never get those keys. We only get Sanguine Depths, Necrotic Wake, and Plaguefall. That's all we as a guild get, and it's absolutely insane.
I mean, and then Theater of Pain, like these last few weeks as well.
Truly living up to the same Theater of Pain. So we were in a 15 the other side, and we were so close. Wildy had literally 1 second to go on finishing his cast on Muzala's totem, and he got pulled before he could finish the cast on the totem, which means we had to sit there and wait a 12% before we could even go back into the portal and do it again. So that was the ultimate what killed us. But like,
There were also like several other parts of the run where like we fucked up in our own ways that took away time. So it like there were a bunch of small things that added up on our run, but we were like, even all that, when all that's said and done, we were still really close. Like with like what, a minute over?
yeah, I think we had like literally like 10 deaths between, like, I think I had 3 of them. Like, if we all wouldn't have died, and if we would have just had a little more damage on that boss, it would have been stellar. But like, again, it was tyrannical. The other side is so fucking hard. Even now, like, I feel like I overgear that shit. So everybody has to overgear it to actually defeat it. And I ran in the other side today in a pug. We didn't even kill the first boss before everybody left. That's how bad that fucking shit was.
And this is a fortified week that's like on paper way easier than last week, so
We couldn't even survive the first like 3 trash packs without 10 deaths, which we ran to the very end of our last week on Tyrannical with that same amount of deaths. That's insane.
I would like it to be made very clear, Slide pugged this on his own. I was not healing this run.
Yes, there was a shaman healer who said, and I quote, "Shamans are the best for healing Grievous." And I said, well, priests with flash concentration, I think, are the best, but shamans are still good. And they ignored me and talked about how great shamans were. And the shaman healer couldn't keep everybody alive through regular trash. I mean, fortified trash, to be fair. But, like, come on, homie, let's go. Homie!
Oh no, Marge.
Anyway, my tattoo is I'm close to getting it done. It will get done. I will have this silly-looking mount that I want before it becomes really hard next week. Next year for 9.1. What about you, Aaron? What's your top 2 medium boot, bottom boot?
My top toot is that after, like, I'm pretty sure an actual year of waiting, Cubby Bub's order of the second World of Warcraft cookbook came in. We looked through it, and it's got a lot of tasty dishes in there.
What do you gotta make first?
Ooh, we got a mixed drink from... They separated it by not only culture, but also, like, expansion. And I don't know what the brokers are doing, but they have a lot of good mixed drinks in there. We were even looking at our wedding cocktail list, and we were like, maybe we got to sneak one of these guys in there.
Which one caught your eye in particular?
So I have grabbed the cookbook itself, and it is not the brokers that have brought this to us, but rather the Naga have brought us the Sea Salt Java.
Ooh.
Which is a alcoholic coffee-based chocolatey dish that I'm very excited as a coffee fan to create.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, who would have thought that the Naga would present you with such a favorable drink?
Literally, when we were looking through it, that section is called, like, Other Places, and it's the Maelstrom, Deep Core, and Najatar, and I told her, who's making food in Najatar? But I'm very excited to pour through it. But for now, I will pass it on to Immune. What is your TTBBMM?
My auga for this week is the fact that we were able to participate in Boat Day. And is a combination top toot, bottom boot. Because it's a top toot that we finally were able to remember it. But a bottom boot because my boat as a Draenei fucking sucks.
It does, though.
It's so bad.
Yeah, so my boat was awful, and it was literally just a plain brown boat, and I don't understand.
Looking at it, I don't even get what they were going for. Like, it seemed of a fine wood that one would find on, like, Azurmist Isle, but it lacked any crystals or any Draenei identifying features.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're going for here. I feel like every other, like, race's boat made at least somewhat sense. Like, they threw, like, a little bit of something on it, whether it just be, like, Ironforge's symbol or, you know, literally something, anything. But the Draenei one was just, like, a brown boat, and I don't understand it.
Even the human boat had like a little Alliance flag in it. It's just so fucking weird that they would do that to you guys. It's gotta be an oversight, right? It has to be.
Well, we know Ian listens, so here's hoping they finally fix it, they overhaul it, and next year at this time, you'll have the best boat in the entire flotilla.
R.I.P. the flotilla. We'll never forget you and your location on the Fortnite map a few seasons ago.
All right, well, with that, I think we're out of here. If you have any comments, questions, complaints, send us an email at donotrelentpod@gmail.com or tweet at us on Twitter at donotrelentpod. Leave us a review on Warcraft Radio or iTunes. Follow us on Spotify. Gammit. What about you guys? Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me, Alex or Immunization, on Twitter at New Era Alex. You can follow our podcast Instagram account on the gram at Do Not Relent. You can follow me on Twitch at Immunization DNR, where I stream Monday nights, Friday nights, and Sunday afternoons.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at The Big Cheesy on Twitter.com. You can follow our literary musings at donotrelent.livejournal.com. You can watch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. And you can find Daenerys' own mixed drink, Mex on the Beach, on page 35 of the new Warcraft cookbook.
Ooh, yummy, yum, yum. All right, but we're out of here. See you guys next week. And remember...
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.